Hey kids, Mr. B here. Welcome back if you're returning. If you're new, click subscribe. Come along for the ride, okay? You guys will remember a couple of videos back, we roasted our friend Theodore the turkey breast, and it was delicious. He's a 10-pound, not a 10-pound, but more like a 6 to 8-pound turkey breast that I bought after Thanksgiving when all that crap goes on sale. And I roasted him. Well, I'll link the video at the end of this thing and you can kind of see how Theodore came to be this deliciousness that we're going to revisit today. So I've hit the point to where I either need to turn the rest of Theodore into something else or freeze him. So I'm going to turn him into something else. So today we are going to do a turkey noodle soup. You can follow this same recipe to do your chicken noodle soup, but we're just using turkey. So let's get started with that. Okay, let's start with our ingredient breakdown for our turkey noodle soup or chicken noodle soup with turkey. You remember our friend Theodore from a couple of videos back. Don't worry, I'm going to break him down a little bit further, but that's what we have left. Quite a bit actually, right? We're doing a classic mirepoix with your carrots, celery, and onions. For the liquid, I'm using my homemade turkey stock. I'll link to that video at the end. If you need to use store-bought, that's fine. I do it all the damn time, but I did this stock homemade specifically for usages like that. How did we forget garlic? Because it is everything. That's about 6 cloves minced. Now, for fresh seasonings, we've got thyme, rosemary, and a bay leaf. Don't forget our friend parsley over there. I'm going to be doing a bouquet garni and some cheesecloth with the string for that. Salt and pepper, dry seasoning. I'm using this sort of chicken seasoning thing I picked up at a specialty market. But guys, you know, not to use ingredients that you may or may not have access to, but look, use Mrs. Dash, any type of seasoning salt. Hell, I've used Cajun seasoning with this. Poultry seasoning will be fine as well. Just use what you got. I'll be dumping a lemon in it, a little lemon juice at the end for freshness. I'm thinking about using some tomato paste. Not 100% sure on that, but what I will do if I decide will be, well, you'll see. Noodles, we're using some of the egg noodles here, and I am thinking about maybe some garlic bread as a side for this. But you know what, guys? Probably just going to be using saltine crackers. Let's get cooking. Okay, kids, let me show you how we're going to roll with the bouquet garni, which is a big fancy long word for a lot of nothing. I'm just going to take these fresh herbs. We're making a lot of soup today, guys. And we're going to just kind of, you know, put some on up in here. Maybe I've got enough cheesecloth. I don't know. Save you for later. Let's get this parsley in here. Then we're just going to try our best to get all this kind of wrapped up in here. You know, you can do this a couple of different ways, I guess. I like to use, you know, guys, you've seen me. I don't do a lot of this fancy stuff so much. But I have learned over the years that for this soup, I don't want a lot of that rosemary just fishing around in the soup. And if you just dump a sprig in it, you know, you're either going to have to live with that or you're going to have to strain it. And I just, you know, don't really have a lot of time for all of that. Maybe go around this way as well. See, you just make it work. Et voila. Okay, I've been heating some avocado oil up over, I don't know, medium-high heat. I've got this nudge of butter I need to do something with. Ain't nobody ever going to get mad about that, am I right? Am I right? So, yes indeed, we will just with that going. To that, we're going to add our veg. We're going to make both soup today. Stir it up, get it all nice and coated on up in that. We're going to let this kind of start sweating. Choo, 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 choo. That'd be a good time to hit it with our pepper. A couple of rounds of salt. So we've been sweating, what, about 4 minutes or so. I'm gonna, well, before I do the tomato paste, let's hit this with some of my chicken seasoning, pretty liberal. Get this garlic on in. Give that a nice stir to coat. Give this garlic about a minute to kind of get its action going. Add just a touch of tomato paste. I think, you know, I'm going to try it. I've never really done a tomato paste in this before, but what I'm thinking is it's going to give it, I don't know, maybe a depth of something that I'm looking for here. It may suck. Stir to coat your veg with the tomato paste. Yeah, I think that's going to end up being a damn good idea. In goes Theodore the turkey. Stir to coat. Remember, he's cooked, so he's bringing some flavor. Not as much damn flavor as the turkey is going to do. And in goes our homemade turkey stock. Still a little frozen, no big deal. That is going to be delicious. I'm going to supplement with some store-bought because, you know, let's face it, why not? A little more. Just want to make sure everything is nice. And look at that color already, kids. Woo-hoo-hoo! Indeed. Like I said, I'm making some soup today. I'll be probably giving some of this away, taking it to work. Sharing the love. In goes my bouquet. Let's get everything kind of married along. We're going to cover this thing, and we'll check back in on it in about an hour. Okie dokie, we've been going on a good boil now for, I don't know, a few minutes. Let it all kind of marry together. Getting about time for the noodles. Right, so at this point, I am going to fish out that carrot out there. Ooh. Fish out, try that again. You know what? If you use the proper tools for proper things, It's a lot better. So out comes the bouquet garni. All right, and in goes about the juice of, I think I'll just do half a lemon here. All this is really going to do is just brighten it up with a little bit of freshness. Okay, kids, give that a stir to incorporate. And let's get our noodles in. So I'm using an egg noodle here. Right, all good. I'm going to use probably about half of this. Why? Because it's going to continue to sort of expand. These noodles will soak up a lot of that broth, and it'll continue to soak that broth up as it sits in the refrigerator, right? Now, if you were going to put some of this up to freeze, what I would suggest that you do is go ahead and take some of the soup out without noodles and freeze that, and then just make noodles fresh when you go to thaw it up. Now, one of the not bad things, but one of the downfalls of that is these noodles are going to soak up this broth, right? When you freeze it and then thaw it and then do fresh noodles, it doesn't really get the chance to do a lot of that soaking up. But you know what? It's going to be fine, and it will be much better than if you, freeze it with the noodles in it. They'll tend to kind of break down. I'm going to cook this till the noodles are done. And in the meantime, I'm going to work on that garlic bread. All right, guys, there you have it. We've got this beautiful soup with that rich broth. We're going to top that with just a little bit of some fresh thyme and parsley. I think I did that in the opposite order there. And let's go in and give this a taste, shall we? See what we got here. It's going to be hot. Oh my gosh. Guys, I'm telling you what, it is going to do your soul some good. You know, the tomato was a pretty good addition to that. And I'll also say that, with the way that we cooked Theodore, there was a lot of sweet smokiness to him as a roasted turkey. And that has really carried over here as well. I can taste that sweetness. Again, I'll link to that video as well as the video of the stock. All right, guys, that is Mr. B, and this is chicken noodle soup with turkey, or turkey noodle soup. I hope you give it a try. Please subscribe, come along for the ride, and we're going to see you next time.